you doing, my friend?
Hey Bruno, I'm doing well. How are you? Good morning to you.
I'm good. Good. Thanks for your time. What time is it for you right now?
It's 8:30 in the night.
Okay, yeah, sorry. Dinner time for you.
It's already done. It's almost end of the day for me. So how are you today?
I'm good, my friend. I'm good. I'm taking the day off from work.
Oh,
So that's what I'm doing on my day off. So I'm really happy that I'm here with you.
fantastic. I mean, the pressure is all mine now, Bruno. So, Bruno, your debut album, Till the Wolves Come Home, was out on August 8th. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the songwriting and the production that goes behind this new album?
Yeah, I'm a talker. So if you feel that I'm going like for like way too long, just like use it like a Zoom reaction or something to tell me to like stop or make it short. Um, but like just giving a like a little bit of context to like how I came up with the album idea. I have to tell about how I came up with the project itself. Um, so I've been playing guitar for the longest time, like it's been over 25 years at this point. And I'm come originally from Brazil, even though for the past 10 years I've been living in Canada. Um, but during this time, like that I've been playing in bands back in Brazil, I felt that I never had something that would work as a testament of my life in music, right? Because with life, music it was always like a passion and a hobby, not necessarily my main profession. Um, and in 2023, when I was like right before I was like turning 40, and I was like hitting this mark of 25 years of playing guitar, I was having a hard time sleeping one night, and I had this epiphany that, you know what? I want to write or record an album. And the next morning, I already had like the name for the project. I had like an idea of what the first song would be. And then I started writing the first song right away. And it took me 2 years to have the album ready because every song was a full cycle of starting to write that song from zero, starting for the first riffs and lyrics and finding the perfect people to be on that song, getting that produced, creating artworks and promotional material for that specific single, releasing, putting it out, reaching out to people like you, and then I will start the next song, right? So every song we have like a 3, 4 month cycle, and it took me 2 years to have this 8 song album ready. Um, that's a pretty much a one-man project. I call it my midlife crisis one-man project because it was like turning 40 that gave me this kind of like, I have to record an album to say that at least I recorded an album in my life, right? So I kind of like do everything myself. I came up with the name, I do all the artworks, I handle social media, I reach out to you guys. Um, I write all the lyrics and then I record all guitars, bass, keys, but then I bring in some cool musicians and some friends to just like record drums, do the vocals. And even though I've been playing guitar for over 25 years, I am very mediocre. I never like really took the time to study guitar. I was always more excited about being in a band, playing live, putting together set lists, writing songs. So I never really took the time to like be good at my instrument. So I brought in like a bunch of other friends that play guitar way better than I do to do a lot of the guitar solos, right? So that's kind of like how the project was structured. So every song, you have some repeated guests on playing guitar solos, you have some repeated singers, but every song kind of like have a different lineup of people, of guests, I would say. Yeah, it was a long answer, I told you. So
Oh, yeah, I'm happy to hear all these things, Bruno. And the album sounds more of a concept based album. So, would you like to tell me a bit on the theme or the concept that this album was focused on?
yeah, interestingly enough, I'm intrigued that you found that there's like this connection in the album. I feel that there are um, some threads that kind of like get tangled that make it somewhat cohesive. I feel that it's very diverse in the sense that like I have a lot of my influences there, and they range from Merciful Fate to Tears for Fears, right?
Mm.
So there's a lot of like mixed styles and like influences in every song. And the singers are all very diverse as well. So you would have from like Rob Halford to Cranberries, like people like singing in the album. Um, Initially, the first songs they were very horror themed because I'm a huge Merciful Fate and King Diamond fan. And when I was like writing the first songs, I was wanting to go really on this vein of like mixing a new wave of British heavy metal with like some more like King Diamond related stuff. Make all the songs little like short horror tales. But then after a while, I just thought there was more things that I wanted to explore. And after four songs, so that pretty much half the album, I
Mhm.
diversified a little bit. So then you have a little bit of science fiction, you have a little bit of like religious criticism, you have some personal things. For instance, the title song "To the Wolves Come Home." It's a song that I wrote for my daughter, right? And it talks about actually the hardships of being a parent for the first time of like a 3-year-old and then how complicated things can be emotionally and psychologically when you're handling with their development as well. Um, so I'm not sure how I would tie it up conceptually. I would say that it's a mix of like horror and very personal stuff hidden under a lot of analogies and symbolisms. But I feel that musically, even though like I'm saying that it's very diverse,
Yeah.
uh, I feel that there are always some elements that kind of like makes these songs cohesive. Like I have this I'm not sure how much time you had to actually like dive into the album, but I feel that every song I have those weird tempo riffs that I kind of like harmonize on the guitars, and I feel that that's something that's consistent every song. And I feel that I'm also developing my own way of like writing lyrics and structuring songs, and I feel that also that makes them cohesive, even when
Yeah.
the genre of the song itself it's like very different from the others. Yeah.
Amazing,
Did I
amazing.
answer your question? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, Bruno. And I really had the pleasure to listen to this album in its entirety, and I have to say, 8 plus 1 amazing songs, greatly written. The musicianship totally mind-blowing. Like you said, the genre is a genre-defining album. Like you're a heavy metal guy, you got heavy metal. You're a hard rock guy, you got hard rock. You're a progressive guy, you got progression, a lot of progression. So it's there's a room for every genre specific fans in this album, and the album is very easily listening. Like the music just flows throughout the album, and I don't see a single song where you can let out like this is not a good song. Like I actually enjoyed each and every song from song, and I'm sure like last 3 years you have put up a lot of hard work to bring this album to its completion. So great work, Bruno, and bringing out all these amazing people inside of this debut album. That's totally mind-blowing. So everybody has contributed amazingly in this album, and it all comes so beautifully. It's a fantastic album for you as a debut album. So awesome. And as a creator, what are your thoughts and how do you feel about the outcome?
I'm pretty happy, man. That's the thing. You will never be fully happy. I think that creatively speaking with something that you put out, I feel that that applies to everyone. I think that even you with your channel and the website, when you put like a review out or when you have an interview, you kick yourself in the eye and say, oh, maybe I should have asked that question, or maybe I should have like answered this thing differently, right? And the same applies. And I'm very new to all of that. So even though I had like written songs before, that was the first time that I felt that I got a song that was fully ready and that it was properly recorded and everything. So it was a learning process. And with that, I I had a lot of issues with some of the songs throughout the process because I was learning and since every song was a full cycle, by the time that I was like 2 songs after the one that I recorded, I had learned so much about the production process and recording and how to clean things up that I would want to go back to the other one and would like to tweak and go and fix things in the mix and change things. And I was literally doing that until like a week before the album was out. So while I was mixing the last song, because again, as I said, like I released every song separately, and each song had its own full cycle.
Mm,
By the time that I was releasing the last one, that Neptune in October, that also marks the release, the official release of the album, I remixed the entire album because all songs in different levels had something that bothered me, right? Oh, this one that's way too much low end. This one that the bass is too loud. I hate the bass tone on this one. Vocals are too loud on this one. This thing is out of tempo. And I was like fixing all these things to make sure it was as close as possible to something that would make me happy. There's still a lot of things that I would change.
mm,
And I guess that's the other issue as well of like, or the issue of recording, of writing and recording an album in like a time span of 2 years, where
mm,
you have like so much to learn about the process. Um, because let me say, on the first song that I recorded, which is the second one in the album, A Little Dream of You,
mm,
um, I feel that the vocals are more are simpler in the sense that you don't have a lot of harmonies, right? And if you get like the first one in the album, which was the sixth that I recorded via Vulture, you have like 18 vocal tracks and you have choirs and have so that's a level of sophistication that like I didn't have 2 years ago, right? The guitars, I have like three guitars in A Little Dream of You, which is pretty much like one each side and one in the center.
mm,
For the last one, Neptune in October, that came out on the 8th, I have something like 22 guitar tracks
mm,
in different times. Of course, not all at the same time, right? And then it makes you want to go back to A Little Dream of You and redo things differently, right? But you need to know when it's time to end a cycle. Um, so I would say that within my limited capabilities, my limited like knowledge as a songwriter and as a producer,
mm.
I feel that I got the best I could with what I could do. Yeah. So again, like another huge answer, but yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. And now the album is out. I know this is a one-man band, and are there plans for any touring? I know a lot of different people work on this album. It's a big task to bring in people together and have a live touring. So, are there any plans for you?
No, I don't think so. And I have so many reasons for that. Like one of the reasons is I'm that's something that I do as more as a hobby. So I have my full-time job that for once in like a very long time I'm taking a day off today. So that's why it was perfect that we were able to set up this call. I have a young daughter. Uh, I'm getting older, right? So it's very hard for me to be away from home. But other than that, I made my life very difficult with some of the singers. Like the singers are very diverse. So if you get, for instance, the guy who sings in Neptune in October and Back to the Ocean, Samtar, the guy who sounds more like a typo negative kind of thing, right? Or Chris Cornell. And you get the guy who was singing like some of the other songs, Tasos, who sings in Little Dream of You and Sister. That's almost kind of like a mix of Bruce Dickinson and Rob Halford.
Mm,
It's so hard to have someone that would do these two kinds of vocals, right?
yeah.
And those guys are from all over the world. So Tasos is from Greece, Samtar is from the US, Berzan, who sings in the first one, Wishfor Vultures from Turkey. The girl that sings Into the Wolves Come Home, Georgia, is from Germany. I have a girl from Ecuador and Hello, and a guy from Italy, and the same song, Valeriano. The drummer is Italian, is a guy who's been playing with Annihilator, Rhapsody, Whiplash, Enforcer, Fabio Alessandrini. The other drummer is in Ecuador as well, Fabián. And the guitar players are like pretty much all from Brazil. Um, yeah, so it will be very hard to put this video together. I could have a band like a band a guy who would do all the vocals and a guy who would do all the guitar solos. But the style of the guys doing the guitar solos is so different that will have to be a really good guy. The drums are not easy. The vocals are not easy. My part is the easy part. Like the guests are like just doing like work that's very hard to replicate. But I would say that the last reason is my following is really small, dude. It's really small. Internet is smoke and mirrors, right? So I'm talking here to you, and it seems that like we are like all important, like doing an interview and this and that. But my following is very small. I don't feel that I will have the appeal to like draw people to a concert. Maybe I could do something local here in Toronto, opening to a band, or I could do something back home in Brazil when I'm coming to visit and just like putting some friends together. That
Mm.
will be a small thing. Like I don't think like a tour will make sense.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And talking about the release of the album, like, did you release as a digital album, or there are physical copies of this album as well?
There are physical copies because even though internet is smoke and mirrors, I'm that's my midlife crisis project, and I wanted to make it real. So I actually have it here with me. The CD as well. I just got it last week. There's a nice little digipack. That's the best part of the CD. That's myself.
Yeah.
That's the credits. Here you have all the guys that were part of the project, right? Um, 8 tracks. There's a hidden track that you actually will only have access. You probably had access to it, but like it's not on streaming. But you have to get a physical copy to have access to it. And guess what? I get yesterday. Vinyl, dude.
Oh, amazing.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Pretty. Well, like
Yeah.
the computer is like screwing things up. But yeah. So you have all the guys here on the back again, right? So I
Yeah.
just wanted to make it real. So even if no one buys the CDs, guess what? I can say that I recorded a CD, I have it on my shelf, I have my vinyl, and that's it.
Awesome, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And moving on, what's next for Paranoia Church?
Um, I'm not sure if I will record another album just because I feel that it took a lot of my time in the sense of with a little kid and with work and with family life, there's very little time that I can have for myself that I'm not absolutely exhausted. And I use all this little time for the past couple of years to do something related to Paranoia Church, writing, recording, promoting, creating artworks, finding singers, um, mixing things. Um, so I feel that I kind of like I need a break for having it so intense. So now that the album is out, I'm focusing more in trying to get the word out and see if like I can get people to listen to the music.
Mhm.
Um, what I feel that I would do is probably I will be releasing singles moving forward, maybe just digitally. And because that's the way that people consume music these days anyways. And I can say now that like I recorded an album. So unless things change in the sense that, oh, Nuclear Blast wants to sign me. And that's a different story. That's not happening, but that's a different story. And like say, okay, maybe I will do another album. But probably I would just release like individual songs here and there. I already have a lot of ideas of like weird things that I want to do
Yeah.
because that's just something that I got addicted after like the first 4 songs. I decided to go in different directions. You know, I started like I want a Hammond B3 solo in this song. I want a sax. I want a trumpet on this song, and I have like already like weird ideas of stuff that I want to do on other songs.
Mm.
But in between, there is another guy who has a one-man kind of project as well in the US that we have a singer in common that someone that sang and a Paranoia Church album that sings in his stuff too that we are planning in doing something together. So we may put out like an EP, maybe a 3 or 4 song EP. That's a collaboration. We have one song that's ready. It's just like penning, recording the vocals and mixing.
Mhm.
And we have another second song that's in the works. And then maybe with like 2 more, we can like package that up as like a split EP or something that combine the 2 projects. But yeah, but that's what's in the box.
Fantastic, man. Fantastic. And I know you did a lot of musical projects back in Brazil, and you moved to Canada now. So how do you feel about the change from Brazil to Canada? So has a lot of things have changed for you?
I'm drinking a lot less. I'm drinking a lot less. Um, So back in Brazil, like I did not have a band for like a single weekend between 1998 and 2015, right? So I always had a band going on. It was mostly like cover stuff because my bands were always like things that I would do with my friends. And as I mentioned, I never had like the aspiration of being a professional musician. There was just like way too many things that I wanted to do at the same time I was playing in bands. Uh, but we played a lot. We played a lot. We opened for like a few like cool bands, um, and there was just a lot of beer involved at the time. moving to Canada, I had to focus on like learning a different language. I have to focus on getting a second graduation here, finding a job, establishing myself. And then I had a kid. So life is very focused on other things, but I'm a music addict. So I'm listening to music all the time, and not only music that I love and music that comes from the past, but I'm listening to new music all the time, right? In all kinds of genres. So not only just like straight heavy metal,
Mm.
but I'm listening to all kinds of music all the time. Um, so what I would say is what changed is I don't feel that I have that much time for a band setting anymore, for like rehearsing with a band on a Friday night, 10 to 12 p.m., right? But I'm loving to have this outlet. I love that I learned how to record my own stuff and how to release my own stuff. And I can do this at my own time and I can do this on my own terms, right? And I can be very creative in the sense that, oh man, I wish I had like a singer that could do this, but I cannot do this because I have a band that already has a singer, right? No, I can just like literally look for someone that will uh, fulfill that. Oh yeah, I wish like had a more bluesy guitar player for this song. Oh, so I know I can work with this guy. So I feel that like it became more less of like a band and a playing live thing, and more uh, being creative and writing and recording and putting it out. Yeah.
Fantastic, fantastic. And in the interview, it's talked about your biggest dream was to once in a lifetime you want to do an album and release an album. But right now, as the album is out, do you feel that your dream is fulfilled, or there are more that you need to achieve?
Uh, I would say I promised myself that I would kind of like take a really good break after the album. But I'm already kind of like looking for singers for like an idea that I have for the next song that I haven't even started like writing yet. And I already have like song titles because sometimes I start with a song title because that the
Yeah,
song title inspires me with an imagery that inspires me to the idea for the tone of the music and for the lyrics. And I have like 8 or 9 song titles already. So I would say that the dream of releasing the album is fulfilled ish. It will be fully complete if I see that the music is getting out there, right? Because now I want people to listen to the music, and these days it's so hard,
yeah,
and you know how short the expiration of music is these days. In the sense that, for instance, I had the album added to a playlist on Spotify, and I went to check that like 10 days later, and it was not on that playlist anymore because the playlist it was just for releases of the week. So if you didn't catch that playlist that week, you would not catch my album. And a lot of sites or like YouTube channels that have been reaching out, they're kind of like, well, if it's more than 1 week old, we don't want to cover that anymore. It's kind of what? Like, how can that like leave so little, right? Um, so I'm just concerned at this point that I really want the songs to get out there and people to listen to the music, and then my dream will be fulfilled. But I don't know, more music to come, I think, like little by little. But yeah.
really fantastic, fantastic. And I know there's a lot of visualizer videos that has come out from this particular album. And are you planning to come with an official kind of music video? I know there's a lot of expense involved, but do you have that kind of plan?
Uh, I'm not sure, man. Honestly, that's a very expensive hobby. Like I don't have that. I would say that probably that's the downfall of being a one-man thing. Because if you have a band and maybe you have all the 4 people splitting the costs of stuff with you. And the truth is, make no mistake, when you see those projects, even your Advantageous or your Arians, all those guests are paid. Okay. So other than my friends, the guitar players that like recorded the solos, they're all my friends and people from back home, and one of the drummers. Everyone else at different levels, they were like hired musicians to participate in the project, right? For the actual release, I had like a paint, like a guy doing an actual painting. So that's like a real painting that I have
Yeah.
in frame, and then that costs some money. And then I press it like 100 CDs that no one will want myself. Um, So all those things have like its cost. So what I've been doing is I know there's a lot of controversy around like AI, and I understand a lot of the debate, and I agree with a lot of things on both sides. And I try to do things as right as I can, in the sense that I did have like someone painting, actually painting, real painting, not even the digital painting. My album cover. I hired actual musicians to record everything. I had like real drums being recorded on the album. I had a guy, a mixing engineer, helping me out with mixing and mastering the album. So I am invested in the industry, and I'm doing my part, right? But with the videos, I've been using AI to help me at least tell the story, and I've been like reaching out to some people that help me to just put that together as a lyric video. The last one maybe is the one that's a little more sophisticated, because I had someone that's like a professional that works specifically with lyric videos, that have worked with bands like Biohazard, Doro, and a bunch of other Brazilian bands, including Shaman, Maestric, who is what just signed with Frontiers Records. Jack the Joker, who also like Frontiers artists. So I feel that this one is a little more sophisticated, but I would think that that's probably the farther I will go on video production, just because I'm focusing my energy on the actual musical side of things and on one platform, which in my case, very appropriate to my age uh, bracket, is Instagram. So I'm trying to like create like the artworks and the stuff for Instagram. And I'm focusing a little less on the video part of things, but I'm trying to have the lyric videos. I'm trying to have them tell a story, right? But maybe one day when Nuclear Blast or Century Media, one of those guys like want to sign me up. Metal Blade, I would love Metal Blade, but that's it.
Cool, man. Cool, cool. And as you are with your debut album, I know Paranoia Church is new to the entire metal community around the globe. And do you have some kind of message for the metal fraternity?
uh, I would say I hope you guys, if you have the chance of listening to the album, like the album, but more than anything is I hope you guys are curious about new music. I feel that it's so hard for me. It's so hard to follow what's coming out every week. But there's so much good stuff coming out in all kinds of like subgenres of metal and rock in general, that I really hope that you guys are paying attention to that, and not just not like stuck to the 80s and 90s release, which I listen to all the time. But last year I tried to make it like a top 10 albums of 2024, which was a very strong year, to be fair. And I couldn't. So I tried top 20 and I couldn't. So the best I could do was a top 45. And still I left some good albums out. So just pay attention on what's going out. And if you get the chance of listening to the Paranoia Church album, I hope you enjoy it and support the underground in all kinds of fronts, not only bands, but channels like yours, radio stations, local promoters, visual artists, video artists. Yeah, that's it, man.
Awesome, awesome. And Bruno, I want to thank you so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to have you on this interview. A real pleasure to meet you, and thank you for your debut album. Like I said earlier, fantastic work from you. I'm really loving this album. I'm gonna put it on a listen for a very long, long time. And thank you for this awesomeness. And I'm really looking forward for more great new music from you. And I wish you all the best.
Thank you, my friend.
So,
Man, thank you for the space. Count on me if you need anything. You have my contacts. Thank you for doing that for the metal community. That's really appreciated.
thank you, Bruno. Take care and have a good rest of the day. Bye
You too.
bye.
Thank you, my friend.
Bye bye.